Howdy folks, it's Nick here once again with a ZX Spectrum review. I bet that was the last thing you were suspecting. But anyway, this game is called Satan, published by Dynamic Software in 1989. It's a platformer, shooter, hack and slash sort of thing. We've already reviewed it on the Commodore Amiga, so you might know a little bit what to suspect if you saw it on there. But we're in 8-bit land. Also come out on the Amstrad CPC, the Atari ST and the good old Commodore 64. It's a game of two parts. The first part we need to collect 3 magic scrolls, so we probably won't get past the first part. Now, it's a bit monochrome there. There's lots and lots of detail in it, so I think that's going to affect the speed that the thing moves. But you can jump. Hopefully you can see my guy just about. It's very colourful down the bottom there. Now, on the bottom left, let's just shoot that thing. On the bottom left, you can see a red bar. That represents a tongue, I think. The lower that gets, the strength runs out. In the middle, you see a magenta bar. That's the strength of our power, I believe. But anyway, I'm finding it's very hard to see what I'm going to do because of the amount of detail on the screen, and it's doing my eyes in. Anyway, we collect coins. That will eventually buy us, I think, extra power-ups. It did in the Commodore Amiga version. You might see a little small number 3. That's how many lives we've got left. So it's all about navigating and finding your way around here. It isn't flip screen. The computer is attempting to keep you more or less in the middle of the screen all the time. So it's very busy. Now, if you had this game back in the day, let me know. It's doing quite well for 48K, although it does seem quite ambitious. Let's see if it does my eyes in. I suspect when we get to new levels, if we do, it's going to change colours maybe. So let's shoot those guys. Now, the tongue, the red bar's gone down a little bit. We can replenish that energy at certain points, I think. The Amiga version, I compared it a lot to Gods, which was to come ever so slightly later, which was the better one. Animation on that wasn't particularly good, but it sort of like survived. Is that energy there in that vial? Yes, it is. So yeah, I wasn't really expecting to see this on the Spectrum, but overall, I think they've done a good job. Makes me think that, wish that someone had done, if they haven't already, a homebrew of Gods. Whoops, we've gone somewhere, and it's all gone magenta. If it's magenta where you are, then comment below. Now, I will remind you, if you're new to the channel, these reviews aren't about expert gameplay. We're all about having a laugh, whoops, and stress busting and falling off of cliffs. Yeah, it's all about seeing how you would have got on your first or second go. Would have been enough there for you to want to go and play it again. Now, I think this... Oh, got a power up there. I think this game is probably in the category of sold quite a few copies by the screenshots alone, although the gameplay is a little bit tough to live with. But it's doing a lot of stuff compared to the most conventional ZX Spectrum games. A bit of animations he jumps across. So it is interesting in that regard. I'm a bit ambivalent with this. I can't decide whether it's good or bad. It does look pretty cool, that is for sure. I didn't know much about it back in the day. It's called Satan. Opposite of Gods, I suppose. Gods and the Devil. There we go. Good. If you've played it on the Amstrad CPC or the Atari ST or Commodore 64, let me know. It's very likely we'll hit it on the Commodore 64 at some stage. I'm guessing that has a bit more colour. It'll be a little bit interesting to see how that compares directly with the Commodore the Commodore Amiga version, which is the greater computer by Commodore. Right, come on, Nick. Keep moving forward, big nose. Always good advice. Keep moving forward, big nose. So see how far we get on this. It's quite generous. It's not one of those games where you bump into something and die straight away. It's got a power gauge. I'm always a fan of those. We can go somewhere there. It's going to go back white again. So I think we might be back where we were. Now remember, we're trying to find 3 magic scrolls and defeat all of the demons or Satan's enemy hordes which get in our way. If you are being chased by the enemy hordes, then comment in the comment section below. Or let's give it even billing. If you are an evil horde but you've just been given bad press, then comment below as well. History is written by the winners. There we go. Whoever the enemy is normally the one that have lost. Right. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Bend your legs. Oh dear. I thought we're going to our doom here. No, he survived. Well done. Well done. So I don't know what these things are. They're not like ladders as such. They're like grippy things that you can go up and down. And why not? Why not? It would have felt quite a bit of an achievement to complete this game, and it is original. I can't quite think of anything quite like this, and I'm starting to disbelieve myself this is indeed 48K. It's near the end of the ZX Spectrum's run, 1989. Whoops, we've died. So it was having to compete with the early 16-bit games that were coming on the scene. Yeah, I mean, the 16-bit game started off not particularly advanced. Oh, that's a power up there. Can I get that? Anyway, I didn't bother getting that. Boom! So even as a newbie, you're going to get quite a lot of play out of this. You can go exploring if you want to. Quite often, which is with the games that you don't go back to, is when you die on the first or second screen, or there's something really annoying you don't get past. This is a big open area to explore. Seeing if you never completed it, I think it might have been worth going back every now and again. There's a power up there. Very hard to get these power-ups, and they only stay there for a certain amount of time and vanish. That appeared right in the wrong place for me to want to get it. So overall, I quite like this game, although I can see why people might not have liked the game. But you do need to get your ZX Spectrum eyes on for this monochrome colour with the individual character. But I'd like to see the programmer of this. It's quite advanced, I would say. Dynamic Software. They produce a few good games. Right, let's just see if I can get at least one of the magic scrolls at all from somewhere there. Be interested to see what happens at the end of this game, whether it's just a screen of text, which they tend to do quite often, or whether it'll loop back to the beginning again. You have to start from scratch. Right, so I think I'm getting somewhere. I might be completely lost, but generally in these games, if you keep finding stuff to kill, because I don't think they're going to regenerate, if you keep finding stuff to kill, then you're obviously going in the right area, because it's a place you haven't explored yet. Right, let's get this coin. I think I've got one life left, haven't I, down the bottom there. You might see a number one. And I've got much life left. Look at the red bar, the tongue. That's almost nothing-a-roughing-y. That's a technical word I just done. Right, into the yellow. And it's all yellow, said Coldplay. Oh, I've died. Oh well. Graphics by Snatcho. Programmed by Anjana Soft. Well, this is by Dynamic Software. So maybe they sold it to them and they put it on a much bigger platform. Well done them. Right, so we're back to the beginning again. Let's see what I've learned so far. Not a great deal, to be fair. But it's worth it trying to get the power-ups. So let's speed run, baby. Best to shoot stuff from a distance and not get involved. There's a couple of coins there. We're good. I don't know what this guy's name is. I've got instructions for this, but it's all in Spanish. And, you know, Spanish, I don't know that language. When I learnt French at school, that was my least proficient subject to do. Bearing in mind I was only about 11 maybe. I was doing okay at French, and then for some reason they said everyone in set 1 and 2 could learn a second language, which would have been fine if it was a language completely different to French, like German or Russian maybe, or even Chinese. But it was instead Spanish, which was almost identical, both Latin based I think, and I had terrible trouble getting confused, and I got rubbish at both subjects. Well done teachers, well done for overloading the young kid's brain. It's a bit like teaching a kid to fly a helicopter. I think he's doing quite well on that. Let's teach him to fly a jumbo jet at the same time. Nincompoops. Who would teach a young kid to fly a helicopter and a jumbo jet? That's just stupid teaching. If you are a teacher that done that, then comment in the comment section below. Yes, indeedy. I do like seeing comments in that comment section below. It adds activity to the channel and creates a bit of a community spirit too, regardless of when the video goes up. So if this went up 5 years ago, don't be shy. Still put up a comment. Hooray! That's what we need. That's what keeps things buzzing. And I'm sure no one knows quite how the YouTube algorithm works, but I'd imagine lots of comments from different accounts and different people, rather than what I've seen sometimes is cheaty people with multiple accounts all from the same IP address. But anyway, proper conversation helps the channel grow. Hooray! Right, am I going to get to that yellow section like before? I hope so. There's an upgrade. I'm powering through now like some expert nincompoop from hell. And that's what you need to be if you're fighting the devil, right? I'm not hanging around. I could shoot these people, but I just want to just get forward, get my upgrades. Now, if you lose a life, of course, well, no. You do lose all your upgrades. So that's a good tip for you, both in gaming and the real world. Don't lose your life. In real life, I think you only get one life, unless there's a cheat mode I don't know. If you know a cheat mode for real life where you get more than one life, then let me know. Probably some Buddhist monk or something. Which is okay if you come back as a human, but if you reincarnate as a dung beetle, that's not quite as good. You have to work your way up. If you have reincarnated as a dung beetle, then comment below how many other lives you got to go through to get back to a human being. You want something a little bit clever. I mean, dolphins, they're quite clever, but you never see them on Mastermind. And apparently an elephant never forgets, but, you know, what has he got to remember? Probably nothing. Anyway, that's why they never put an elephant or a dolphin in charge of anything important. Right, jumping up and down. Here we go. Come on, let's at least get to the yellow section, Nick. Get to the yellow section, and I would say this review is a success. If you're still there, then well done you. I certainly need the watch time. If you're into ZX Spectrum stuff, we have reviewed over 1,000 games. Yes, sirree, Bob, that's quite a few. Still thousands to cover, of course. Some you would have heard of, some you probably wouldn't have heard of. But if you want to get there, click on my username. That takes you to the channel page. Then click on the playlist tab across the top, and then you'll see ZX Spectrum there, along with a load of other systems. Please subscribe, keep the channel going, and a big thank you to the members that have been here a long time. There's been good times, there's been tough times where I've struggled through illness and stuff like that. But we're going to keep on going as long as I've got a breath in my body and my voice lasts. Right, beep. Right, this is where we got last time, the yellow sections. Let's just see a bit further if we can do. Seem to have more lives this time round because I haven't been hanging around mucking about like a wally. Well, compared to usual, I suppose. Guy moves quite fast. I'm sort of like getting used to it. Now I've been playing it for a good few minutes. I've got used to the way the game scrolls. Although it's awkward, first of all, you do quickly get into it if you forgive the ZX Spectrum for the way it moves. But, you know, it scrolls not too badly, all said and done, comparatively for the era, with the amount of stuff it's having to do. They could have simplified it a little bit. I'll be interested to see if it ever come out on the Spectrum next, more advanced, where we can do it in colour. I expect that'll look pretty cool. Right, so all about jumping on these things. Or was that right? I'm somewhere different again. I've gone to Cyan Land. Now I still haven't found any magic scrolls, have I? So I'm presuming this game is absolutely massive. You wouldn't be completing it on your first go, that's for sure. And I think I've just jumped into oblivion and died. I have done. Yeah. Overall, then, a big challenge. This game, very ambitious. Plays okay. Some people might do their eyes with the graphics. Overall, I quite like the thing, but I don't think I ever would have completed it. So, hope you liked having a look at that game. That was Satan on the ZX Spectrum 48K, published by Dynamic Software in 1989. Now, of course, if you've got any comments about this game, similar games, anything retro or ZX Spectrum, then slap that in the comment section below. I love reading your comments. Until next time, take great care of yourself and are very fond. Goodbye.
Goodbye.